Hello aspirants, looking at editorials for 17th December. The first editorial in the Hindu newspaper is diminishing options before BCCI. This we have just discussed yesterday in news, so there is nothing new up here which is put forth. We know everything about it. Anurag Thakur, the BCCI president, against whom the Supreme Court has said that they would initiate criminal proceedings for contempt of court. So this is criminal contempt of court, means intentionally they are not adhering to Supreme Court's orders. It had also tried to ask the ICC to give a letter that the Supreme Court appointed Lodha panel committee interfering in BCCI's administration is government interference. So government interference in sports bodies is not allowed internationally. So that is because sports bodies have to be independent. So letter suggesting that this is the case in India, but the ICC chairman refused to do this, and that has been come out in the open. So this, because of this, Shashank Manohar himself, ICC chairman, has said that this letter was asked for. So he has confirmed this. Shashank Manohar himself was a BCCI president earlier. So Anurag Thakur said that only his viewpoint was taken on the matter. There was no suggestion that you give a letter on that matter. So because he should be in a better position to know whether this is government interference or not. But then Shashank Manohar said no. It was clearly a letter which was being asked to be provided saying that this is government intervention. So now Anurag Thakur is under trouble. And also another point which the editorial tries to put forth is the action which the BCCI is taking is showing it in bad light because it is resisting reforms. So reforms are required in BCCI, no doubt. Only thing which they are actually resisting is judiciary dictated reforms. But then BCCI has not been able to undertake reforms itself. So this is a platform now. This is an initiative which has been taken. So BCCI should accept it rather than resisting it anymore. It has given statements like we cannot control state associations. So of course state associations come under BCCI. So it's showing its unwillingness. That is the reason why the Lodha panel has also suggested that the present office bearers to step down and a new office bearers should be appointed so that reforms can be undertaken. Also they want CAG, an auditor should be there in BCCI to look into the auditing of the accounts. So all these resistance shown is putting BCCI as against reforms of the body. So we'll see now what happens further in this matter, how long will this be dragged and when BCCI will come into its senses and finally adhere to the judicial requirements, the order which is being put forth. So the perjury, the term perjury which was used, so perjury means offense of willfully telling an untruth or making a misrepresentation under oath. So this action again on perjury has also been planned because Anurag Thakur under oath said that he had just asked for suggestion, which is now proving wrong. So that is perjury, willingly telling an untruth. So that action can also be taken against Anurag Thakur. Then the next news, next editorial is decoding the Fed's signals. So this is regarding US Federal Reserve. It gave its federal benchmark interest rate policy. So this is called benchmark federal funds rate. So how we had benchmark interest rate called repo rate. So that way benchmark federal funds rate is there. So this rate has now been increased for the second time since the financial crisis of 2008. So this increase is 0.25 percentage points. So from 0.5% which it is presently, it has gone to 0.75%. So it has gone so low. So now it is normalizing its monetary policy. So this interest rates variation is called monetary policy. So this decides how banks interests, what would be the interest charged by the Federal Reserve from the banks, and likewise how would the interest rates be in the market, because banks also accordingly have to give interest to the people. So you can see the interest rates, federal fund interest rates over the years. So this 2015 you can see since the 2008 financial crisis had gone drastically down. So interest rates were brought down drastically because economic activity was required. There was a complete economic threat. So because to eliminate that, to push the economy forward, interest rates were gradually reduced till they had gone almost near 0%. So now also it is only 0.75%, 0.5 to 0.75%. So this is also positive development. So even here you can see here that people would now further want to take advantage of the little higher interest rate too, which US itself is offering now. So you can see that it was near 5% earlier, more than 5% earlier. This was the phase, and then it has drastically dropped. A very high peak was even during 1980s. So this is there. So this action has also been taken. This is called normalization of monetary policy, because the interest rates had gone drastically low because of the 2008 financial crisis, and now increasing them is normalization of monetary policy. The interest rates cannot be so low in normal times. So the Federal Reserve says now the indications are clear. The economic growth is on a right track. The progress is fine, and this increase in interest rate can be undertaken. Also, the Federal Reserve has said that this normalization would take place gradually. It will not be a sudden shock, because that would not be good for the domestic economy as well. And of course, it has global repercussions. So this point has been clearly put forth. Plus also the GDP, the real GDP growth in USA is 1.9% this year. So you can see we grow at the rate of 5, 6, 7, even 8, 9% at some points of time. But developed countries grow at a lower pace because they have already developed. The growth has already taken place and they are at a high pedestal. So now there is no further scope for growing at a high percentage. So this is also appreciable. Also, they want to accelerate it to 2.1% in 2017. So growth is on the right track. That is why this action has been taken. Also, jobs are on a solid front. Job gains are taking place. Unemployment is reducing. So this is heartening. Even the public spending has increased. So this is good for the economy. So public demand is what will spur the economy again. So that is fine. Other thing which is there is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, once coming to power, he has also said that economic activity will be spurred by him too. So that is also a positive indication. So that gives more strength to the Federal Reserve to undertake this initiative of normalizing the monetary policy. The second point, the second part of the editorial is its impact on India. So on India, how will it be impacted? Because of the interest rates now being increased, dollar becomes strong. So strengthening of dollar in the market results in Indian rupee losing to the dollar. So that's why the Indian imports will become costlier, because whatever in rupee terms you have to pay in dollars. So when dollar is strong, then you'll have to pay more of rupees for those many dollars. So that's why import bill gets swollen. So because we have oil, major commodity which is important, and there is no flexibility there. So that is why the trade deficit also we are seeing that it has also increased between imports and exports. The exports would be gaining, because in terms of when you are paying in terms, getting money in terms of dollar, so now you're getting more of dollar because dollar is strong. So in that dollar, more of dollar means whatever dollar you get, in that return you will get more of rupees. So Indian exporters will have rupee of value for them in the country. So that is why they will be benefiting. Imports will suffer and exports will benefit when dollar becomes strong against rupee. So this exports benefiting aspect has also been negated, because this benefit is there. But then another loss which India is making is in terms of FPIs, foreign portfolio investments. So FDI and FIIs. FIIs are also called FPIs. So FPIs are portfolio shares, whatever are taken. So those FPIs are short-term deposits. There's no guarantee that they would stay in India. They can overnight leave the country. So that is an investment being made, shares taken, shares sold off, something like that. So FDIs are investment in infrastructure, in industry, in organization being set up, an MNC or some unit being set up. So that cannot take place overnight. That cannot flee overnight. That stays. Even if they're wrapping up, it will take a long time. Right? But FPIs can anytime flee the country. FPI or FII, whatever you call it. So this fleeing of capital is being seen because dollar is becoming strong now. So many are removing their money from these foreign lands, means from developing countries, and putting them back in their home country. So this is not good for India and other developing countries. So this is again another place where we are losing. So these 2 points are highlighted. Plus also another point is regarding US President-elect. Again, he is having his protectionist perspective. So how Indian companies in USA would be affected, especially the software companies. So that is also a point which we'll have to wait and watch, how the administrative policy takes shape and how will it affect India. So that doubtful area is still there. We have to wait and watch. Then the next editorial is of, this is the growth of USA over the years. You can see the growth is in this range only now, 1.9% as we saw right now. So this is quarterly growth rate from 2016. Then this is the Indian Express editorial, which Aleppo. So this is regarding Aleppo city in Syria. This we have discussed quite often in news now. So here the Syrian government, the Bashar al-Assad regime with Russia supporting it, is fighting against the rebels who are saying they are fighting against dictatorial sectarian government of Bashar al-Assad, and Bashar al-Assad puts allegations against them that they are terrorists who are using women and children as shield in this war. So now who is to be believed is the question. War crimes of course are being committed, but then there is another war going on in Mosul in Iraq, where the Iraqi forces with the help of US air cover are fighting against Islamic State. So there also is the situation is similar, but then the war crimes there are not being highlighted in the media so much. So that is also important, is what the article, the editorial is trying to say, that their too civilian lives are at risk and they need to be safeguarded. So this is the map. I think now you know a lot about it. We will not discuss it again. Next is limits of outrage. So this is regarding the 2012 gang rape case in Delhi, and pose that how still there is a lacune. The police forces are not equipped enough technically in terms of manpower, in terms of training, that they can undertake investigations and put people behind bars, book them and put them behind bars, proving the charges against them. So there is a need for training them. If the police forces says it is untrained, understaffed and underpaid and under-functioning as well. So how this human resource deficit should be taken care of. The forensic laboratories need to be strengthened technologically, technically. There is a need for better evidence being gathered. So prosecutable evidence is required. So their further strengthening is required. So that is the points put forth. The positive is that now the police are willing to report cases on sexual assault. They give weightage to the testimony of the victims, but then still there is no prosecution, no conviction. So there still has a lacune which needs to be filled. So police accountability and police autonomy are basic tools for protecting the foundational values of any democracy, the rule of law. So that is one point put forth. The last editorial in Indian Express newspaper is winter washout. So this is regarding the winter session of Parliament, which was completely wasted, little legislative business being undertaken because of the demonetization issue. So the opposition wanted a debate on this and voting to take place, and the government was not ready to be put demonetization under voting, though it has a good majority in the Lok Sabha. So these questions, it resulted in quite heartburn amongst the opposition too. So even the Prime Minister in this Disa in Gujarat, where he was addressing a rally, he said that he is not allowed to speak in Lok Sabha. That is why he is speaking in the Jan Sabha before the people. So such statements being made make even the value of Parliament, undermining the value of Parliament. So this is unacceptable. It's a government responsibility to bring the house in order again, as pointed out by senior BJP leader L.K. Advani too. So that is it. Other Rahul Gandhi issue we don't need to discuss. You must be hearing about it. So this is it for today. Thank you.